Oh, wow. Hello, everyone. And I didn't even get a chance to put my little icon on. Silly me, getting ready for the back stuff. So, uh, welcome to SCOOBYPU'S podcast, end of the year. Oh gosh, end of the year special. Well, I wouldn't even call this special, just end of year review. Tonight, I am going to be covering with a very nice panel things that have happened this year so far, uh, which have been kind of crazy. I don't know if you guys think the same, but it's been an up down year. So hopefully you guys will, I don't know, agree with that. But let us start bringing in the panel, shall we? With starting off with Pouty, Digny. Hope you guys are doing well. Furious Man, and of course, Saint Hugo. How you boys doing? How you doing too, lady?
Doing good. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas.
I
Oh
know.
yeah, great. I've had a great Christmas. You can tell how tired I sound.
I know I did. Dan, you have a good Christmas?
It was alright though. I got to spend time with my daughter and make dinner and stuff like that, and went out a lot though, hang out and went Christmas shopping and stuff like that. It was okay. It wasn't that bad.
Hugo, how you doing?
Yeah, Christmas was great. Kids are happy. The flat is stocked up with even more Legos, and well, now the year can end.
Now, we have three new people who have never been on the show before. Let us welcome for the first time Dignified Cartoon Gentleman. Dignified Cartoon Gentleman, please tell us about yourself.
Well, hello everyone. I hope you're all doing well. It's great to be on this illustrious panel full of great creators. You can tell that none of us are depressed, but I'm the dignified cartoon gentleman. I explore why things go wrong in pop culture, gaming, and wider entertainment. I first started my creator journey a few months back in September with the help of a good few fine fellow creators, and I'm off to I think at least a good start. We're nearly at 300 subs, so I know we're supposed to wait until later for self-promotion, but I would appreciate anyone anyone's support, So subscribe to me.
Yes. Also, we have a very, 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 very pretty lady who I met through modding with Hypno. She has her own little gaming stream and everything. Piranha Pout. How you doing, sweetie?
Like I do a lot better
Why don't
once
you
I
tell
finally learn how to use this thing.
Why don't you tell people what you do?
Well, hi everybody, my name is Piranha Pout, but much better known as Pouty. Sometimes I play as this tiny little PNG person. I like to play video games, usually on Fridays, and sometimes I get way too serious in said video games. Like when I got stuck in the Troll Temple, I mean the Shadow Temple on Ocarina of Time. Just kidding there.
I will never forget the time when you fell asleep on the stream.
Oh god, that was terrible. I'm never gonna
But
live that down.
you were so into the game. I was like, does she know?
That's actually how I first came across Piranha Pout. She was playing a Mario game, and she suddenly lost consciousness.
Dear God,
Yeah.
did everybody see that?
Yes.
Yes,
Everybody
we
should.
did.
In
I
fact, when I saw the discourse around that, a lot of people thought you had died.
Yeah, Sonia was like, does anybody have her phone number?
Yeah, I remember that.
That explains
Yeah.
why I had so many phone calls that day.
Hugo,
Oh, I'm
how about
sorry,
you?
Zelosi. Didn't mean to worry you.
How about you, St. Hugo? How you doing, hon?
Well, doing fine and restructuring how I go about things from New Year on. I'm working on my own game, but that will be quite an effort, so it will take time before I can show something. I'm considering maybe doing developer streams, but I'll have to try that out and see if I can concentrate while streaming. It's a
Okay.
bit.
Well, we have a good topic for you set up later. So, and
Right.
Furious Dan, sweetie, I know you've been on the show before, but let's remind people who you are.
Oh, my name is Furious Dan. I'm from Retro Overkill, which is my show, and I do retro gaming and some modern gamings. On top of that, and I also do AI anime also as well once here and there, And I've been coming out very long, very successfully, and I've been having a lot of fun doing it. So that's about it. You know how it is. Keep going, keep growing.
Well, we have
That's a very sorry to interrupt
no,
you,
no, no.
Scooby,
Continue, Digny.
but that sounds like a great saying. What was that, Dan? Keep on going, keep on growing.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
It's a famous word I had gotten from a certain gentleman that we used to hang out with all the time. It said that he was blowing out the internet. So, I
oh,
mean, nothing I can
Dan.
do about it. So, God bless
Nice.
him out there.
He sounds like a great guy, but carry on,
Yes,
Scooby.
he is.
Yes. So we got quite a few topics today to say so long to. As you can see, a lot of stuff that's happened this year has come out with growing tech, problems with AI, the Game Awards, Nintendo being Nintendo. We've had a lot of problems with the superhero movies and such. Nintendo's directs, oh my god, those have been a disaster. Pretty much all the gaming companies have
Mhm.
had horrible the state of play. Nintendo, all of them have had horrible this year. So let's get right into it with Marvel, because Lord knows, I mean, just down the shitter. Oh my god, Lord knows. I'm just going to start off
Oh,
with what
joy. Let's talk Ironheart.
I'm just going to start off with something that Pouty definitely wants to get into. Ironheart. Oh god,
Yes,
what
you
a
can
shit
see
show that
I'm
was.
brimming with excitement for this. From beginning to end, that show was just crap, and I watched the whole season 3 times because I kept falling asleep on episode 4.
I had to watch the whole season once because I could not stand watching it a second time or a third time or a fourth time or anything. That show is what made me cancel Disney Plus.
I
I'm
watched it
so
on bootleg. I had no
I was
problem with it.
I was like, how much? And everybody's like, oh, it's such a great show, great introduction to a superhero. No, it
No,
was not. She did every horrible thing you could possibly do in a show. Now, if
she
she
was a
was
super criminal.
yes, if she were being introduced as a villain, sure, the show would have been fine. But no, no. How many people did she kill in the show? She killed, she
Right?
robbed, she lied. I mean, no, this isn't superhero. This is not Ironheart. What the hell are you
She
doing?
extorted, for God's sake.
I mean, jeez.
And the whole
Just,
time acted like the victim.
I know. She's like, I'm the victim here. Why are you judging me? It's like, shut up, woman. And and as you said before, Pouty, she brings out a lot of negative tropes.
I was just sitting watching the whole show going, they're not really serious, are they? This is like almost every negative black stereotype, and they just brought it to the forefront.
Yeah, exactly, which is something they don't want to do, something they shouldn't be doing. And yet, something they decided to do. And then we have the Thunderbolts, probably one of the crappiest movies to come out this year. one of the better, but not the crappiest, but one of the better movies to come out from Marvel. Sure as hell was a lot better than Captain America: Brave New World.
Oh Lord,
That
let's not start that.
that was so
Black
bad that they're
America.
bringing back. It was so bad that they're bringing back the Chris Evans.
Yep.
Ooh,
And
that's
why is Pedro
racist.
yeah, that's racist. Oh my god! And then of course, Red Hulk. Red Hulk. Oh, they made him sad, and he turned good.
Get off my plane? Oh wait, wrong movie. But why is Pedro Pascal in everything?
I have no
I
idea.
don't know.
I honestly have no. I'm glad that they did what they did to him in Game of Thrones, where they killed off his character. He was in there briefly, and then they killed him off. I had no problem with that.
Well, back then
Oh,
he wasn't everywhere. He was basically a fresh face and did a good job on Game of Thrones, to be honest.
he did.
Oh yeah, that was
He
pretty much
really
the
did.
only thing he was good at that I saw. But in Fantastic Four as Mr. Fantastic, no.
Oh, that was
He
just sad to
doesn't.
watch. He looked like he was gonna cry every 5 minutes.
He was like,
Just like
hold
the
on,
audience.
he was like, hold on, we can't go anywhere until we put the baby seat in the car. It's like, seriously, are you kidding me? It takes 3 people
Why
to
are
put
you
a baby
bringing
seat
the
in a car.
baby?
It's like, why are you bringing the baby with you on certain missions? You
I
have
have
a
a very
butler.
interesting. I have a very interesting question when it comes
Yes.
to the Fantastic Four first steps. Is that you could essentially boil down the story to a giant guy wants to kidnap a child.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
You can boil down Captain America: Brave New World as where's Captain America? You can boil down Thunderbolts into the power of love stops a shadow person, and those shadow people are very dangerous. And Ironheart can be boiled down to what if Iron Man was black, female, a thief, and a criminal? And
Well,
these are all true statements.
you also gotta
Well,
the power of love. You also gotta throw into Fantastic Four first steps because
Oh,
there it's
goodness.
the
if I'm
power of familial love.
if I may add in dignity, you could have just stopped at what if Iron Man was black female. The rest was kind of implied by the rest of the show.
Well, I have to be, as you know, Pouty, I have to be very specific in what I say for obvious reasons. But I just look, Marvel in 2025 from bad to worse, and these 4 projects are living, breathing examples of why Marvel's MCU, their best days are behind them, not in front of them.
And one of the main things that made Fantastic Four so that made it blow up for some people. Post-credit scene, Doctor Doom appears. Ooh. Yay. Who cares? And what is he doing? He's holding the child. Oh my god, the child's going to play a big part. We have to pay attention. We need to see this movie. No,
We
you don't.
didn't know that.
You didn't know that. You didn't know there was a
Wait,
post-credit scene.
I didn't even see the movie, and I understood the child was going to be the key to something.
Yeah, yeah, in the post-credit scene, they show Doctor Doom. So they show the mother reading to the child. The mother gets up to, I think, go get another book or something. I don't quite remember, but she comes back and she sees Doctor Doom talking to the child. And I remember when I saw it in theaters, everybody in the theater was like, ooh. And I was like, seriously? This is what's getting your interest? Oh my God. I was
Especially,
shocked. I was like,
Jingle,
you're just,
spent
jingle,
the entire
jingle keys.
yeah.
yep, spent the entire film trying to stop a giant guy kidnapping a child, only for a green doctor to essentially do it.
Yeah, and one thing that I'm surprised. Well, actually, you know what? I'm not surprised. A lot of people are saying Tony Stark can't be Doctor Doom. He can, and I only say this for one reason. There is an arc in Marvel, in the Marvel comic books, where he does transfer his consciousness into the body of Tony Stark. Now, however, because of this whole multiverse that they're doing, they're most likely going to pull that kind of crap and they won't explain it in the slightest, which will be another fuck up movie. Which is one thing that we got, I believe, I'm not too sure if it was last year or this year, but yeah, I think it was last year when we got the announcement for Doomsday, if I am correct. But this year we've been getting more and more updates about it. Supposedly it comes out next year, and they're re-releasing Marvel's Endgame, and Avengers Doomsday is going to pick up right where Endgame left off.
Which is ridiculous.
Yes, because it negates everything we saw in Endgame.
Wait, are we still
It's
at the point where I have had to watch all the Avengers movies to know what's going on?
At this point, I wouldn't watch the Avengers movies because of how much they're retconning. It's like, wait a minute, this happened in this movie, and now you're saying it didn't happen, and you're doing this, and it's like, make up your mind, please. My head is starting to hurt.
Yeah,
Thunderbolts,
I'm getting confused.
Thunderbolts, out of all this, I'd have to say was probably the better movie. I still hated it. It still sucked, but it was the better out of all four.
Yeah, but it changed its name. Do you remember that, guys? When
Yeah,
the
and they
They call it the
changed.
New Avengers.
They are
Yeah.
the new Avengers. They are. Hence, that was the great big hysterics point. Disney made a great big thing about it. Oh, we added this to it because there's more to it than you know. And then the movie's unveiling, they then tear off the bottom. We're the new Avengers. That did not make a lot of people happy.
And I'm thinking to myself, one guy, right? I know Sentry is a very powerful character, obviously, but one guy just done you in and then turned into a shadow person that you had to destroy through the power of love. But one guy, one super enhanced being did you in. How can you dare claim yourself to be the new Avengers when you cannot deal with an Avengers level threat?
That I would say that makes so much sense, but yeah. And Daredevil came out with the season this year. It came out with its first season, and I have to say, out of the shows, I like that one. That one was actually pretty decent. As was Loki, the second season. That was actually pretty decent too. At least Loki attempted to make sense, unlike other Marvel shows and Marvel movies. That one at least attempted to make sense. Daredevil, they tried, you could tell to that one they were trying to please the fandom. They were trying to do, that was their way of trying to bring people back. And although the show was good from a fan point of view, it was not good enough to bring people back.
Does anyone remember Kang anymore?
Yes.
Remember when that
Sure,
was
I
the
can't forget
big
Kang.
thing? They were pushing Kang variants, Kang film, all that sort of stuff. And then the
Dude went to jail.
character slash career assassination of Jonathan Majors essentially destroyed all of that. And what we're seeing with the Doomsday Project and everything built around it is this last-ditch effort by the Marvel Cinematic Universe to end on a high note, right? I know they're coming up with Secret War or Secret Wars. I thought they already did a Secret War. Why are they turning it into a film
So
when it's that?
They didn't do Secret Wars. They did Secret Invasion.
Oh, but is there a difference between
Yes,
an invasion and a war?
one is the prelude to the war.
Well, I can't wait to see Game of Thrones characters turn into green aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
So depressing. It's so depressing.
Very.
Thinking about that, the first
Mm,
Blade movie basically saved Marvel back then and
yeah.
put them on the map. It would be fitting if they actually pull off another Blade movie to make that the final nail in the coffin.
Well,
Oh dear.
they are going to be
Go on.
doing another. They are going to be doing another Blade movie, but they said be patient because this one's going to be the most special of all. And I'm thinking, gee, how much more can you fuck things up?
Sorry,
Yeah, they
guys.
will
Dead,
do it, especially to fuck it up. I love
Dead.
the original two Blade movies, and without Wesley Snipes, they can go to hell, basically.
Well, that's the whole point, right? Deadpool and Wolverine literally proved there's only ever going to be one Blade. I know there technically was another one, but technical aspects don't cut through in this day and age. I mean, how are we supposed to expect a Captain America film to do well without Captain America in it?
That's one of the great things I loved about the movie not Captain. One of the great things I loved about Deadpool and Wolverine is when Chris Evans appears and Deadpool is so happy. He's like, "Yay, yay, yay! I knew he was going to come back," and then he turns into the Human Torch from
Mm.
because he was in the first Fantastic Four movie as the Human
Yeah.
Torch. So I found that was hilarious.
That was a good joke, yeah.
Yes, that was. But that was another one of the Marvel movies where they just kind of dangled the keys in front of you to get you to come to the theater. It was, hey, look, we got another Deadpool movie. We promise this one's going to be better. And on top of that, they're going to bring out Wolverine. And
Well, that's the strangest thing, Scooby. Not just this year, but for the past few years now, when it comes to the MCU, their best projects have been through little or no control of, or under rather, little to no control of Disney Marvel. You look at Deadpool and Wolverine, it's a fantastic example of Fox holdovers making a great project. And when you look at, say, Spider-Man No Way Home, that was mostly a Sony led project.
yeah, and
So
they're already starting to show who's coming back because they know what that this show is going to fit. That they because they know the movie's going to fail, so they're bringing back the best. They're bringing back the best that they had to offer. I went to go see a movie, and there was a teaser in there. I went to see SpongeBob with my niece, and in the teaser trailer, it was shit. I forget her name. It was that's what it was. It was Wanda Maximoff appearing from where she had quote unquote died in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. She was reappearing from underneath all the rubble. So they're like, oh, yay, look at this.
Yeah, that was such a wasted opportunity of a project, considering they could have used that black guy as the bad guy, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they had him set up and everything. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, why? It's like you, how should I put it?
Drop the ball.
Well, not just drop the ball, but it's like when you rile up this character to the point where people are looking forward to seeing them as a villain, and then you bring in another villain, and that completely and totally upstages them. It's like you got us riled up for the wrong reason, for the wrong person. I hate you for this. And we have a member month. Merry Christmas, Jedi from Jedi Knight 128, member for 1 month. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Merry Christmas, Scoob and chat from GB. Hope y'all had fun. Also, the multiverse ruined Marvel. Oh yes, the multiverse did, and I hope you had a Merry Christmas too, and a happy upcoming New Year. And yes, Papa Stitch, you were right. It was a very wasted opportunity. They had so many more directions that they could have gone to make Marvel Studios look good, and they didn't. Deadpool versus Wolverine, it was full of nothing but member-berry characters. The story sucked. It really went nowhere. All they did was just bring out a bunch of characters and expect the humor, to bring people back.
And who was responsible for the story of that particular film? Disney.
Yes. And of course, but then again, DC is really no better. I gotta say.
No. You could argue that it's in an even worse state.
Yes, which is why we will. Because all we've had so far, I mean, Peacemaker, it was a decent show when it first started out. I will give it that. I don't like the show at all, period, but it was decent when it first came out. But then they started to do the multiverse. This season revolved around the multiverse. I was like, are you kidding me? This is what happens when you put things in the hands of James Gunn. And I don't even know if that was his idea, but it was a horrible idea overall to make Peacemaker multiverse.
Just removes all mistakes. Nothing matters. Because in another universe, the toothpick fell on the other side of the table. So really, nothing matters.
Yes. I mean, and then of course, Superman, I don't know where to start with that one. Super Pussy?
Oh dear.
That's all I can think. When does Superman cry? And since when is the dog a better character than Superman himself? I'm sorry, Krypto was more entertaining than Superman.
What lost me?
But Superman crying over shit said on Twitter was crazy.
Well, that's 2025 for you, Pouty. But what lost me with James Gunn's Superman, and I always make a meme of it. It's like 1A, 1A, 1A. It's like, what are we doing? What is this? This is not Superman. This is not Lex Luthor, right? These are stories that date back decades, or in some cases, nearly a century, and it's just being completely trivialized, right? I'm not a fan of Zack Snyder, but the one thing he got right in my eyes was the serious tone of the DC universe.
He got the darkness down.
And I think that's essential because let's not forget that DC were the trailblazers, right? They are the oldest company in the pop culture and comics scene, right? They've stood the test of time.
Right.
But for the past 30 years, it is practically 30 years, they've been mismanaged to the point now where it just needs to rest for a little bit and it needs newer, clearer direction. Because the thing that will kill this franchise or these franchises is its constant inconsistencies, as we're seeing quite plainly. You go from the Snyderverse to the Gunverse, and you got this middle period where The Rock tried to take over. I mean, this is madness.
Blue Beetle, The Rock. Oh God, it's just it makes you. For those of people out there who like DC, I feel sorry for you. To answer your question, Sakura Mita, from 1 to 10, how cooked is James Gunn's DC? I would have to say turn it up to 20. It's cooked. It's gone. And then on top of that, we've all seen the announcement for Supergirl. We've all seen the commercial. We saw what she's like in the Superman movie.
Oh no, I haven't
Um,
seen the commercial yet.
you haven't seen the commercial.
No, I haven't.
Oh man,
Hey,
I want to
Patty,
show it, but I'll get copyrighted.
I
Yeah,
can
probably, huh?
describe.
You can lower down the volume though and just play the commercial without the
No,
music.
no, DC are very strict, Dan. But Patty, picture this: are you a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy 1, 2, and 3?
No, just 1 and 2.
Well,
Oh,
then you'll enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy 4 Supergirl Edition, where you can have a special Sony Walkman with your Supergirl.
not only that, but she
Woo!
likes to get drunk, have hangovers.
Oh
Crypto is all you
no.
see. Her home is looks like a freaking trailer, in my opinion. Her home is trashed. It's like covered up with all over newspapers and stuff like that. And of course, Crypto's hanging around there. And the first thing they introduce in the commercial is Crypto peeing on a picture of Superman.
What?
Yeah,
You have got to be kidding me right now.
I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. She's like wearing sunglasses. She's hungover, and it's like, really, this is what we're getting.
Yep.
And
Wow,
they're
it's like
like,
they
we
looked at
wanted
She-Hulk
somebody.
and turned it up to 11.
They're like, we wanted somebody who was a bit more serious and a bit more realistic. Basically, Supergirl's going to be the one who kills, and Superman will be the one that doesn't.
Which is very ironic because when you look at when DC tried to incorporate a good versus evil within the Justice League, their usual go-to tactic is to make Superman evil, with the regime, have Batman be the good guy, and have Supergirl join most of the time Batman's team, right? So
Yeah,
it completely shifts the dynamic. But one thing I'd like to point out is that I think James Gunn, because he's not directly involved in the Supergirl project, but his acolyte, who is, I think, is trying to construct a character around Supergirl that represents James Gunn's ideal woman.
and he needs to get a
Dear
whole new
Lord.
idea. That's just, Rhoda, good to see you, hon. Great to see you.
Like the whole time you're
Devastator.
describing this, I'm thinking She-Hulk because they ruined my girl by making her into a boozy slut who gets loose for an order of fries.
Yeah, I mean, she even says in the, I think she says something along in the commercial. Superman likes to see the best in people. I like to show the truth, and it's kind of like
Cringe.
there's a difference.
Well, the truth is, she's a hoe.
She belonged to the streets.
Ay,
All
boy.
right then. But
I'm
the
so
thing I
worried.
found funniest thing I've found about the Gunverse so far is the following quote: "One got out, it's a black." Right? He
Yeah,
presses the horn. It's in Earth X where everyone's racist, and everyone just chases the black woman. And I'm thinking to myself, this isn't accurate because no one in this situation is armed to the teeth.
yeah,
So
exactly. And
there
on
you
top of
go.
that, I think he said like one of his next films he's going to be doing is Justice League. That's
Oh
going to be a
God.
disaster. That's going to be all out disaster right then and
Oh
there. I
no.
can tell you that much.
Remember the last time a Marvel director made a Justice League film, folks? Remember that? Remember Josh Whedon, or
Uh,
however you pronounce his bloody name?
Yeah,
yeah, you can say Whedon, it doesn't matter. Or Weasel, as I say.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm not good at pronouncing names. Exactly. Exactly.
they are
Superhero
no.
movies are not special,
Yeah, not
right?
anymore. We've moved on. Toxin. They also jumped in a pool for no reason. That is correct. They did. They felt. I mean, they probably just felt like maybe they were threatened by Marvel or thought maybe, hey, if Marvel can do this stuff, we can do. No, 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 you can't. You suck. Hi, Roadkill. How you doing, sweetie? Shield Wall of Dragons. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. But yeah, as far as the studios go, I mean, because of them, superhero movies, they just kept on pumping them out one after the other, hoping, and even the shows, they kept pumping them out one after the other, throwing shit at the wall, hoping something sticks, and nothing did. Which
Very
is,
depressing.
Certainly was shit.
yeah, it's depressing. It's very depressing. It leaves 2026 with no hope, especially with all those AI commercials that are out there. The AI commercials make the movies look good. I'd
And
rather see a movie based off of what the AI commercial is showing than what we're actually getting.
And that's the
AI,
next step. That's
and
the next step, guys, because if you put enough of those clips together, those clips become scenes, right? All a movie is, folks, is a collection of clips chronologically put together, and those clips are known as scenes. So we're not far away from AI movies, right? They'll be terrible in the beginning because everything at the start of any innovation is terrible. But
Yeah.
but to
in a
be
few
honest,
years,
Well, it
it'll
I,
be
depends how much effort is put into this. Because most people just use grok and stuff like that and don't even know what control net could do or how relevant the seat number might be and so on. So take your time, read a bit up, and you can have consistent characters and so on.
Not only that, though, is that within these movies and stuff, they used to be okay. We'll take a look at Marvels. I mean, not Marvels. Take a look at Marvel Avengers, Marvel Endgame, Marvel Infinity War, and stuff. The CGI and graphics in there were great. They were awesome. Now with each movie, it gets worse and worse. You can tell Disney and Feige, they're cutting corners everywhere they can. Um, so it's a real shitty thing to do. That's one of the reasons why I used to be a fan of Spider-Man. Not anymore. No, no, I haven't. Spider-Man No Way Home was great. I do not trust in anything after that. Shield Wall of Dragons says because for a while every movie made money and then they kept chasing that over and over and listening to people on TikTok about what was cool when it was not. Very true. Because a lot of that
Exactly.
was modern audience who did not even watch this stuff. And the ones that did had never been fans of this comics in the first place. They didn't even know what was going on. They just saw it as another movie.
Yeah,
Um,
anyone
doesn't
who listens to stuff on TikTok deserves to fail.
well
yes.
that too, Hugo. But why take advice from people who watch material that is the complete opposite of the material you're making? It's like if a Twitch streamer took advice from a TikTok creator. It's like it doesn't make any sense. Because when you make long, expensive productions, epic in a sense, the last people you should be getting your advice from are people who make 60-second clips of geese dancing.
That's a long format for TikTok.
The
I
only
know.
reason I watch TikTok is because I want to see the stupid cat videos. That's really the only reason I watch it.
Mostly watch
Right? If
And
you
TikTok for
Yeah,
see
other people.
I want to see the cat videos. I want to see the videos of idiots slipping and falling off their roofs because it's common sense
that,
not to get on a roof snowy during winter. That's the only reason I want to watch. That's the only reason I watch
Common
TikTok.
sense? What's that?
Yeah, especially nowadays.
I'm just
Um,
going to say this, right? The kind of people who should be running the MCU and the DCU, right? One great example. Look at James Cameron, right? No matter if you think his Avatar films are fantastic or abysmal, right? One thing is guaranteed with every Avatar film he has led the way on. They are cinematic epics, they're very long, and they make a lot of money, right? I know he had a hand in Terminator Dark Fate, so, but I will tell you this. If he's interested in the project, he will do his best to make it so. And that's what the MCU and the DCU need. They need big, cinematic epics. That's what they need to be. And James Cameron is great at doing that, no matter how shallow you think the 3 Avatar movies, because there are 3 now, are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, and Jedi Knight brings up a point. Problem is, when watching a superhero movie now, people subconsciously know it's just an actor reading lines and an AI avatar. So the thing is also, not only that is, for the superhero movies, the actors and actresses, they're doing the best they can with what they're given. So it's really all on the writers and the company's fault and such. So if they write a crappy script and they get a good actor who does that stuff, I mean, who does their job, it's still going to suck because it's what they gave them. There's really nothing the actor can do about it except for turn down the role.
Mm. But
Which
I
is
would be inclined to get Dan's perspective on all this.
My perspective about all of this, I think AI makes better female characters than the people in the studio make them actually. And I'm being honest because I had designed female characters on AI and they came out really freaking great. I also designed Wonder Woman in AI and she came out like exactly like Wonder Woman with the hourglass body. But the upcoming Supergirl movie, I don't think I'm gonna look forward to it at all. Speaking of the movie that's coming up, I don't know if they ever have made a Supergirl movie back in the past, but she came out looking nice. Actually, the way she's supposed to look like. But this one, I'm not sure.
The CW did for a while have a Supergirl show,
Yes,
and it was pretty decent.
Right.
and I was looking forward for her to be
Yeah.
in the movie.
Hugo, what do you think?
I think movies will end up like theater. So, like, with a small but consistent audience, the great age of Hollywood is definitely gone. And thinking back, the writing had been horribly bad for over a decade now. So it really doesn't matter if we are approaching the age of AI or not. They've proven time and time again they're done. Even excluding the woke stuff, the writing got worse and worse.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, from my point of view, they can ruin now whatever they want. I just don't care anymore. Not really.
It is getting to that point of cultural irrelevancy. That's the point that the movie industry is going to enter, because physical media is going the way of the dinosaur. And when I talk about physical media, folks, I'm not just talking about videotapes and DVDs. I'm talking about the infrastructure. I'm talking about theaters, cinemas, as Hugo pointed out. Everything physical will be phased out, for lack of a better term. And that's why the whole who's going to get hold of Warner Brothers is going to be so crucial, because Netflix's number one objective, because of their endless blood feud with Blockbuster, their sole goal is to wipe out all forms of physical media.
Very much so. It's kind of like that way with gaming too.
Exactly. All of us, we are being forced, in a sense, into digital forms of media, regardless of the medium of said media. And if you look at Marvel, you look at DC, you look at, when did they first start, shaking as properties? Late 2010s, early 2020s. When did the dive into digital media really take off? Late 2010s, early 2020s. Robbing projects of their physical element. It's like robbing a person of their physical form. They're not going to be a person anymore. They're just going to be a spirit or a shell of what they were.
Very, very true. But to move on, since we still have a lot to cover, in the spring we also had game announcements and things like that. But nothing grabbed people's attention more than the Nintendo Direct that a lot of people saw coming this year. And Nintendo so far this year has just been one big fuck up after another, from their games to their tech to everything involving them. Their lawyers have been working overtime, suing everybody that they possibly can, most likely. They've been suing Pocket Pair. You name it, you name the person or thing, they try to sue them. They've been sued for plagiarism of people's character designs, even if they're just fans. And the Switch 2, oh Lord, the Switch 2. Any of you have the Switch 2?
Hell no.
No.
Nope.
The Switch 2, I honestly... I feel sorry for anybody who has a Switch 2, especially considering for how they run the things for it. Nothing but key cards, bricking your system, overpriced. And then now they're starting to go back to physical media. But problem is, will the physical media even fit into the Switch 2? And the fact that they say, oh, you can bring used games. Well, that one guy who bought a used game, tried to use it on his Switch 2. Well, what happened? It bricked his console. But he called Nintendo for help. What did they do? They gave him the finger. Almost all the games that came out, they said, oh, yeah, you can also put them on the Switch also. Yeah, you can also put them on the regular Switch 1. But why put it on the Switch 1 when you can put it on the Switch 2? Well, if you have the Switch 1, why, and the games come also on the Switch 1, what's the point of buying the Switch 2? You don't need it.
People just want to buy the Switch 2 because of the better graphics. That's why. But to tell the truth, it's high price on the game. And I don't think to tell the truth, I'm glad I didn't buy it, because I don't think it's a great console. First of all, if I buy a console, I want physical copies. Like real actual physical games for it. But since I got a PC, I'd rather buy digital because it's just PC. But if consoles, console will be physical for me because I like to collect the games that I really love and play.
Sorry, I was giggling about what Rhoda said. The Switch 2 is the Xbox One of Nintendo's.
Well, you say that, but in terms of finance,
my mom bought into that thing. She has the original Xbox One.
Well, I'll tell you this. The Nintendo Switch 2 is a fantastic example of this console is fantastic on paper, but it's awful in practice. That's why the sales of the Switch 2 have been cataclysmically huge, unlike the Xbox One, where the sales were cataclysmically awful, right? And if it keeps going like this, hopefully it won't, but if it keeps going like this, the Switch 2 will be on track to be the most financially successful console ever released in human history, which is terrifying for the precedent that would set. And I think people need to realize, taking the PS5 as an example, that a high-priced white elephant of a games console won't stop existing supporters of a system from buying it. I mean, the PS5 got 75 million sales in, 5 to 6 years? Yeah, I think it was 5 years. That's incredible. That's an incredible success for Sony, despite the fact that the PS5's cultural impact is nowhere near that of the PS4.
And another thing I gotta say here, what is the point buying a Nintendo Switch 2, which you actually gonna get the same crap you get for the Switch 1? You're gonna get games repeated all over it, all over again. So what is the point buying a different console?
Yep. I mean, really, the only thing that Switch 2, and not only that, they also tried to nickel and dime you with all the I mean, the only thing that they always fall back on, and they did this for the Switch too, they fell back on Mario. Okay, you can double down on Mario all you want. I really don't care. But the thing is, though, is that for the Mario Party, they started to make games specific to they started to make tech specifically to the game that would almost force you to have to buy it. Like, for example, the camera, the Nintendo Eye, or whatever it is you want to call the damn thing. Um, the camera is horrific. The quality that you get.
Even have the audacity to promote tech on the Switch 2 that has been common on PC for 25 years and on basically every other console for over 15 years is just pathetic. And you said earlier you feel sorry for everyone who bought a Switch 2. I don't. That's learning money.
Well, we have to also understand that with the CPU and GPU price hikes that are going to happen in 2026, Nintendo will most likely, because of how their systems are set up, because there's the Switch 2, they use very specialized, almost exclusively designed systems. They will not be affected by those price hikes. So in a sense, while everyone else's prices goes up, they can keep their prices the same, and it will lead to more people buying their products. And Nintendo's a fortress, right? That's why they keep everything in-house and they sue everyone to oblivion who tries to nibble on what they think is theirs. I think it's very important for people to realize that Nintendo is trying to get as much capital as it can to use that capital to try and innovate their way out of a big problem. And that problem is, where do we go from here? Are we just going to be like Switch 3, Switch 4, Switch 5, Switch 6? They have to innovate because that's the only way Nintendo has ever survived in the long run. Their back's against the wall. They don't know what to do. So they get lots of money, lots of capital, and throw it into an expensive, innovative project. And sometimes it's failed, like with the Virtual Boy and the Wii U, but sometimes it succeeds with the Wii and the Switch.
Yeah, it's a repeated market with the same crap all over again. Rinse and repeat.
Yeah. The Nintendo banks on their big name and stuff like that. But as far as their big name goes, they have not had anything really good in a while. I mean, take a look at what happened with the Wii and how many what happened with the Wii and how many TVs were lost because of that. Of course, that was partially the fault of the idiots who played it and didn't listen to the instructions on how to use the controller. But I think Nintendo will continue following their trend of Switch 3, Switch 4, like you mentioned, because they don't know anything else to do. I mean, all they can do is follow the leader, see what worked for them, and then fuck it up and do the complete opposite.
Nintendo, folks, I want to preface this because when I look at Nintendo, I look at the company historically. Nintendo only ever innovates when it completely fails. Whether their failure of a project was a fantastic system like the GameCube or an awful system like the Wii U, right? If it isn't commercially viable, they will pivot, right? As long as the Switch concept is financially viable and profitable, they will not change a damn thing about it. Even the controller drifting issue,
Oh,
they won't change it.
yeah. a lot of times you either and this goes for any console, you'll either have to go out and get a new controller, or B, fix it on your own if you know how. St. Hugo, I imagine you probably know how to do it on your own.
Yeah, I'm well versed in many do-it-yourself things.
Well, you are German, but go ahead.
I sometimes wonder if you even know where the country is if I would show you a map.
No, I'd pointed at Poland because that's where Germany started. But that's a topic
Welsh
for another.
plate, sir. Welsh plate.
I know. But I'm just thinking about this, right? Where does Nintendo go from here, guys? I'd be interested to hear you guys' thoughts.
I think
I'm
they'll
inclined to
double
agree with
down
what Jedi
on.
Knight is saying.
One at a time, please.
Yes.
I only have 2 ears.
Totally.
Pouty, you wanted to go?
I said I was inclined to agree with what Jedi Knight was saying, where he said game cards were kill Nintendo, because I already hate that game card system.
Yeah. Hugo, what were you going to say?
They'll double down on the lawfare. That's for sure. And then there are the backdoor deals and so on for mechanics they have a grip on, and renting those out. So, and for the game card issue, normies don't care. And Nintendo has a firm grip on their audience, holding their in-house IPs hostage for, well,
yeah.
forever by now.
Well, that's the biggest advantage of having a fortress, essentially, because everyone that's within that fortress is under your control. When I look at this, though, more and more, we're going to have to realize that something can be a bad product, but as long as it's profitable, it will be a success. And the same is true the other way around. The GameCube's a very underrated system. It was the most powerful console of the, I believe it was the 6th generation of consoles. More powerful than the PS2, more powerful than the original Xbox, yet it did the worst financially and barely made its money back, which classifies it as a financial failure. The same could be said of the Nintendo 64. Fantastic system, utilizing existing technology, but Nintendo didn't innovate, which led to the N64 falling behind financially against the original PlayStation. What is successful is always what is profitable, not what is better. And that's
Speaking of technical marvel, the PlayStation 3 was the most impressive console.
Yeah.
Because you could hook up those and create a supercomputer out of them using specialized Linux,
I thought that was
Linux
just a rumor.
versions. No, that is no rumor. These days they are not viable anymore. Outdone by basically every modern toaster, but few years back they were still quite a force to be reckoned with.
Well, you also got to remember the Dreamcast, which ran on Linux. That got a lot of people use that for hacking and stuff. Which
capable systems might, capable systems. Looking back on them, we think, well, why did this fail? It's so innovative, it's so capable. The reason they failed is because they weren't financially viable. Right? The Dreamcast is a perfect example. It was the perfect pivot. The Saturn failed because we used the best technology, but no one bought it because we didn't advertise it properly. So let's work with Microsoft, get third-party components, and make this fantastic PlayStation killer, because Sega didn't think that Sony would make the PlayStation 2. They were gambling on that. And of course, it didn't pay off. But when you look at the history of gaming and apply it to Nintendo, they've always been the kind of company where we're just going to do this until it's no longer viable financially. Then we're going to put all of our time and our effort innovating our way out of the problem. That's why the Switch concept exists. Because let's remember, folks, when the GameCube failed, it led to that similar process, which led to the Wii. So I think it's very important. Nintendo will not change until then their future console, whether it's 3, 4, 5, 6, could be 20 for all we know, the Nintendo Switch 20, until it becomes a financial failure, they will not change.
Well, not only that is they
I
also,
think there's one aspect that is overlooked, and that is one angry customer who is a well-versed hacker can cause quite a lot of damage. And considering the advancements in AI, and well, I tested it myself scripting wise, it's not really good yet, but it will be really soon. And I think the downfall of many companies will be the outlaw aspect. They will get under attack.
Yes, very much so. The thing is about Nintendo, though, is as far as game releases and stuff, they're sticking to what everybody already knows, and people get tired of it. As it is, game releases for Nintendo this year have been very bone dry, but then again, that's because of the Switch 2 coming out. However, that doesn't mean they could have focused on Switch 1 and come out with a lot of games for that. Sakuramita, yes, I was aware of the Switch 2 robbery where trucks full of Switch 2s were had the Switches stolen in them. Personally, I think the people who stole them were idiots. Now, for this year, however, overall console-wise, we did have quite a few games get released, and many of them were fun. Many of them were promising. Some were a little bit on the lackluster. For example, the other one, Tony. Wu Chang. Thank you. No. But there we go, sweetie. Perfect.
Get your screens lined in order.
It's Duckyard fucking fixing. Duckyard, I hate Duckyard. Anyways, so Silent Hill F, Lost Soul aside, Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers. If you guys watch my gameplay, you will know how much I just adored Wu Chang. And Expedition 33. Now, I don't know about you guys, if you guys played any of these. But these that came out were actually pretty damn good. As much as...
Well, Expedition 33, of course, Lost Soul aside, is just too expensive for what it delivers. It looks like a good and fun game, but the price tag is just too hefty, so it's on the wish list and will sit there until 50% off, at least. Same with Wu Chang. It looks really good, but it's missing something to justify the actual price. And Silent Hill F, well, I have strong negative opinions about that one.
Like a story?
If they would have just called it something else.
I'm sorry. Yeah. But when it came to Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, they promised so much for it. They were like, oh, it's a deep story with bosses that are from this dynasty and this and this and this. Then China gets a stick up its ass. No offense to China. I love you, dearies. But with then China gets a stick up its ass about the game. The story's removed. characters are removed. You can't kill bosses, they just get tired and walk away. It's like, what is the purpose for? It got to the point where I was just wandering around the game wondering, what am I supposed to be doing next? Other than get my ass kicked. It's like, okay, I need to kill these people. Great. So where do I go next? You can go this direction and get this, or you can go this direction and get this. It's like, but what about the story? What about the story? Yeah, about that. Some people weren't too happy about it, so we had to gut the story from the game.
Because the Chinese are very sensitive about their history, because their entire system is built upon a romanticized version of their history. So tearing it down as the plot point of a game isn't going to lead anywhere good. Now, I must say, I've heard about 3 of these games. I played one of them. I haven't heard of Lost Soul Aside, but the F in Silent Hill stands for fucked, which is what I felt like when I first saw the trailer for this game. It's like Silent Hill in Japan, where the bad guy is blood and roses.
So that is what it was. Is the blood and rose lilies represented the underworld? That was not the bad guy.
Could have fooled me.
Yeah, no, it was not the bad guy. Those flowers represent the underworld. They represent death. You have to play the game to understand what's going on, but that is not the enemy. The enemy is it's quite a surprise. I did pick up on it a couple more times to see if I could get any more information from the various endings, and I did. I was surprised, but when I played it the first time around, I enjoyed it. I did. At the end of it, I wondered what the hell I had just played, but I enjoyed it. I got my
Have you played the previous Silent Hill titles?
No, but I was gifted Silent Hill 2.
No. Not the remake, the actual Silent Hill 2, if you play. Go check Abandonware, you get it for free.
Okay.
For PC. Think it should be still on there. Now the remake is toned down, it's stretched out. The combat isn't the selling point of Silent Hill, of none of the entries, and that is what they are forcing one to play with the remake. So avoid the remake for now. Play the original first, so you can compare and know from memory what you're missing in terms of scenes and so on.
And that's my sentiment, echoing Saint Hugo. As you can tell, he talks about Silent Hill and he's very depressed when he talks about it, because this didn't strike me as a Silent Hill game from my own
Absolutely not, no.
perspective. It may be a good game, right, on its own, if it was F something. It kind of reminds me of Mass Effect Andromeda. When I played Mass Effect Andromeda, I thought, I enjoy this game. If it was called Andromeda, but it was called Mass Effect Andromeda, and I expected a Mass Effect game when I played it, and I didn't. So that's the thing in regards to Silent Hill F. It could well be a fantastic game, but is it, as it's advertised, a Silent Hill game?
Well, according to the creator, he said it does tie into the cult, the red pills or whatever.
No,
He said that is my tie into the others, but I do see it as a separate type game because it takes place in 1960s Japan. Personally, I was personally, from what I understand, Silent Hill does go a lot around mental trauma. Silent Hill sure as hell did have to do with a hell of a lot of mental trauma. It had the fear aspect and everything there. So it's like, based on what I've been told about Silent Hill, this has a lot of it. Just it doesn't seem to be the game because I don't know if the other Silent Hill games involved self mutilation.
It was cheap what Silent Hill F did, and the series is not about trauma. That's the main focus on the of the second part. But 1 and 3, not so much. Yeah, there are intense moments for the main character, but they don't go in having a trauma and trying to deal with it. Silent Hill F, and one more thing is, especially when talking about or comparing to 2, in Silent Hill 2, the main character, trying not to spoil too much, you have reasons to like and to hate him. Is a fully fledged character, and Hinakao is, well,
there were times where I was like, bitch, and other times I was like, okay. Other times I was like,
no,
bitch.
just
You can ask Zalosi.
when
Yeah,
Hypno played
Zalosi
it.
was there for
Jesus.
yeah, Zalosi was there for all my gameplays, and he and I were like, what the fuck?
There once was from Matt, I think it was, lowered expectations, making fun of dating VHS tapes and so on. Yeah, that would be a perfect fit for Hinakao, and I really mean cow. Horrible.
Oh,
there is not a single moment where I don't wish the demise of that cow.
I'll tell you this, guys. Something can be a good game, yet if it exists in a pre-existing universe and doesn't bear much relation to that existing universe, then it becomes a bad game because it did not stay true to the pre-existing universe. I call it the Mass Effect Andromeda effect, where it can be a good game when it's not a broken, buggy mess, but if it doesn't stay true to what the universe is and what the franchise is, then it is by definition a bad product. Look, Konami has been all over the place in recent years, so I can understand that they may not be the most stable of companies. But I
That's because they
honestly
kept getting
believe,
rid of all their best people.
I honestly believe, though, that if this game was not part of the Silent Hill franchise, if it was just its own brand new thing, it wouldn't have done nearly as well as it did. Let's face it.
Pouty, you got anything to say about this? I guess she's still AFK.
Yeah, I think it's the audio issues. But Dan is a gaming expert. Does Dan have any thoughts about this this lineup?
I do have a thought. I haven't never got into Expedition 33, but I heard it was really good, but not my style type of game. Silent Hill F, I thought it was gonna be a fuck up game, but for what I heard from SCOOBYPU'S perspective, it seems like she really enjoyed the game, and I actually see her play on her barcade, and actually came out pretty good. I mean, for her perspective, it looks pretty fun. Lost Soul aside could be my interest of me playing the game. I have seen her play also as well. Looks pretty good. Wu Chang Fully Fellas, I do have the game, but I stopped playing it because they kind of like clipped the story and the culture out of it. And it also rage bait the crap out of me because I couldn't even play no more after that because the boss levels were actually too difficult for me to return back into the game. So yeah, I mean the game looks beautiful. I mean I like the texture, the environment, the way they had the girl. It looks fantastic. But I will not go back and play this game to tell the truth. It's too much rage baiting, and plus, what's annoying about the game is there's no map or where to go because it's a Souls game.
The map was annoying.
Maybe we should get some yellow paint for you, Furious Dan.
Why? Do I need yellow paint for?
So you can find your way in Wu Chang.
Oh, don't start with yellow paint.
Yeah.
Even actually good games, but I
Pouty,
see too much yellow paint, I'm out.
since Pouty has returned, sweetie, why don't we get your opinion on these so far?
Oh.
Silent Hill F and Wu Chang.
Out of the 4 up here, I've only played Expedition 33, and I have to say that game was beautifully done. I've been watching, Scooby's plays of Silent Hill F on replay since I don't sleep anymore. But Lost Soul aside and Wu Chang, I'm completely unfamiliar with, so I'm very curious.
I haven't heard much about Lost Soul aside, but I would like to make the point that the more expensive a game is on release, right, the less likely I'm going to support that product. One of the great things that not many people talk about Expedition 33 is the fact that it is a very cost-effective release, as well as being a fantastic game.
Well, Lost Soul aside is a basically one guy project, if I remember right.
Yes. So to get into Lost Soul Aside, to educate some people in chat, Lost Soul Aside was a project done by a man, who's a Chinese man named Yan Bing, as a way of showing off the Unreal Engine. He posted a small, brief video up there. He was inspired by his 2 favorite games, Final Fantasy, as far as the appearance for the characters, and the gameplay of Devil May Cry. Everybody loved his video on YouTube. It got dozens and dozens and dozens of views. And of course, who picked up on the views and the potential? Sony. Sony said, we'll give you the money. We'll give you so you can make a studio and finish up this game and stuff. The only exception is you got to make the game exclusive to us. And then as time went by, because it was just one guy, very, very, very small. Okay. It fell into development hell. It was turned into a 10-year process to make this game. Because in his belief, he did not want to expedite a game, usual time, it's like a couple of years, then toss it out. In his mind, he wanted to make this game perfect for the fans. He wanted to give out a fully fledged, what felt like a finished game. Now, for me, I do have the game. I intend on finishing it. I've just been getting sidetracked with Sonic. And I do have to say, out of somebody who has played every Devil May Cry game, including DMC, which disc I ended up, let's just say, for lack of better terms, destroying in every single way, and then having my brother's dog shit on it. But that's a different story. My gameplay so far, my impression of Lost Soul aside, though, however, I love it. It's fun. It's very unique. It does carry over many aspects of what was shown on YouTube. A lot of people say, "Oh, what's behind him is just a bunch of crystals." No, that's a dragon, and that dragon serves as his weapon. I mean, the story is it's a very good story. The gameplay is fun. I highly recommend it. Personally, I believe that the reason the price is what it is because of how many people worked on it. Patch-wise and stuff like that, they've done their job. It's very good, well polished. I highly recommend this game to anybody who enjoys hack and slash games, anybody who enjoys Devil May Cry, anybody who enjoys Final Fantasy. I mean, Final Fantasy-wise, your characters, modern Final Fantasy, I should say.
I do find it very ironic that it took this guy 10 years to make this project, in which time Square Enix decided to make their own Devil May Cry game called Final Fantasy 16.
Well, like I said, you had one guy working on this, and then on top of that, he had to start from scratch.
I do find it very, very ironic, though. He wanted this project to stay true to his vision, so much so that he spent a decade doing this. And then by the time he releases it, first exclusively to the PlayStation. I think it was the PlayStation 5. By the time he does that, Square Enix decides to make Final Fantasy 16, which is a fantastic Devil May Cry game. And in a sense, you've got two different projects that are eerily similar to one another, uh, coming out of two completely different philosophies of gaming.
Well, I would say they're similar to each other when story wise, they're not similar to each other at all. Weapon wise, they are far from similar to each other. Location wise, same thing. Boss wise, completely different aspects that you're seeing here. Just like pretty much almost every game, you're going to have monsters in it. Devil May Cry had monsters in it. Like I said, the influence for his gameplay, all of his influence for the gameplay came direct from Devil May Cry. The only thing he took from Final Fantasy was the character appearance. That's all he saw as worthy in his eyes. He liked the appearance of the characters, but he wanted the gameplay of Devil May Cry.
It seems the only people who are not interested in making Devil May Cry games are the people who made Devil May Cry games. Also ironic. The world is filled with irony, folks. We should mine it for food. I mean for resources, not food. Can't eat irony. That was a blooper.
St. Hugo, you said you haven't played it yet because of price?
Yeah, but I've compared
Well, it's
games, and since I'm playing games since the DOS times, I can watch a game played by somebody else and know how it would feel to actually play it, controller-wise, keyboard and mouse-wise, and so on. It's just enough added up muscle memory and experience by now.
Hmm.
And what I can say, if I pick it up on sale, Lost Soul aside, I mean, I'll definitely switch to original voices because
It's only going to get worse as time goes on, folks. And I know we are pressed for time, but as the price, because the prices are going to shoot up, and GTA 6 next year will ensure the prices shoot up to where by 2027, $100 releases will become the norm. I'm telling you, especially if GTA 6 is a massive success.
but
But
only for AAA. There are so many indie titles, promising ones, about to come out, and well, AAA will go down the road of Hollywood if they keep up
and
with the crap they're
it'll get
pulling.
to a point because of the CPU and GPU price hikes where a cheap PC will be at least $1,000. An entry level, not cheap, an entry level PC will be $1,000. And because almost none of these companies, very few, even the indie ones, very few companies actually optimize their products in the gaming space. It's one of the most ignored aspects of games development and publishing is optimization and data storage. That's left, after a game is released. They won't be
That
able to afford to do that in the future with all
that
these
reminds
price
me of
rises.
a positive thing I've heard about. I think it was the Starship Trooper like bug multiplayer. Come on. What was the name? The extraction shooter where you land on planets and kill bugs or robots.
Helldivers.
Thanks, just had a blackout. Didn't they just release a patch reducing the file size to an insane degree?
They did, but it was after the fact, which only reinforces my argument. It's going to get to a point where game file sizes will be released at least in the 3-digit gigabyte range, and optimization in terms of minimum requirements for products are going to get so high to force people to buy new generations of tech which will be inflated price-wise. It's going to be something that could threaten the entire PC ecosystem, and not many people are talking about it because everyone's focused on the here and now, it seems. I'm telling you this, the next Claire Obscure won't be $50. I'm telling you that for a goddamn fact. But
If
go
I
ahead.
may to if I may to concur with what you're saying, Digny, I currently don't have Helldivers installed, but I do have the game, and it's in the triple digits, 131 to be exact.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Pouty, don't you have the game? Because I think I've seen you play it before.
Yeah, I had to uninstall it. It was too big.
Don't get me
So,
wrong. The matter with the file sizes is insane.
Yeah.
Before we continue, we have Zolosia with 5 gifted memberships. Oh my God. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And for that, I award you with the Barely Naked Ladies.
I got something to say here real quick.
Yes, go ahead.
Whoever wants Silent Hill F right now, don't buy it on Steam because it's don't buy it at instantgaming.com. It's $55. Steam got it for $41. Go to greenmangaming.com. It's 53% off for $33.17 for Silent Hill F.
And
Yes.
use the promo code FuriousDan5 to get 5% off your next order.
Yeah, that would have been great. I mean, they're paying me for it, so thank you for the advertisement, Digny.
But
I'm gonna save on Expedition 33 for later because it'll still be coming up.
I probably could buy that. I probably could find that game cheaper too.
As you know, we've all been coming up on recent tech though. Sony not having anything since last year. Last year, Sony had the PlayStation Portal, I believe, but now we have Xbox finally stepping into handhelds with the Ally ROG. And of course, Steam is now stepping foot into the gaming area with more than just the Steam Deck, but now we have the Steam Box coming in, which people are very, very curious as towards how it's going to be priced, because they've already announced that it's going to be priced like a computer, which could possibly be well into 800 and maybe even more. And then, of course, we have the Switch 2 and its evil eye. Guys, opinions, especially you, St. Hugo, since you are familiar with creating games.
Well, the Switch 2 should be avoided at all costs. From developer standpoint, indie-wise especially. On this occasion, I want to remind on the developers of the Great Rebellion, which were sold a expensive dev kit to create the port for the Switch 2, and then the game was removed on launch day. So, no matter how you look at it, part ways with Nintendo. Xbox basically took themselves out of the game. Everything is an Xbox, yeah, I'm right. So, well, Steam, that is kind of interesting. Well, better said, to how to put this. It's an olive branch extended to the console gremlins to have an easier entry in the oh so scary PC world. Take it.
Oh, it's so interesting you mentioned PC World, because that was a store in a certain country.
Yes, it was a long, long time ago. Once upon a time, PC World did exist.
Well, if we look at this historically, though, ladies and gentlemen, Steam doesn't have a good history in terms of hardware. And I don't blame them for that, because Steam started off as game developers and game publishers. It would be like if EA made a console. It's like you don't expect it to do well. If you look at Xbox, I think Xbox would be in a far better position if they just abandoned first party gaming. They just pull a Sega, because they are a massive entity, and they could pull a Sega and just get out of the console realm and be a massive games developer and a massive games publisher, and probably be in a far better position. Sega is a fantastic example. Sega is in the best position they've been in for decades. Yes, Sammy, the pachinko gambling machine company, did bail them out, and that's why it's called Sega Sammy to this day. But I do think Xbox would be in a great position to essentially step away and be like, guys, we're just gonna pull a Sega and just step
Microsoft
away.
is overbloated as
Yeah,
it
Oh
well,
is.
yeah, that's true.
So they waste money everywhere,
Mm.
and it's not just wokey stuff, and the lack of a better term, and yoga practicing employees who don't get shit done. It's just they are 10% away from a government entity when it comes down to being efficient.
I'd like to make one more point, though. When I look at Nintendo currently, I think Steam's going to be in that point in about 10 years. I think I really, especially if the Steam machine and the Steam Deck and the Steam Deck 2 and that god awful weird looking controller do very well. If they do very well, then Steam will eventually turn into what Nintendo is today, and that will completely cripple PC gaming.
now the thing is about the Steam box though is based on the price. I honestly do think it's going to be more than 800, because if you look at the Steam Deck right now is currently $749 for at its best. And then you
You're
come
talking
out
the
with
full HD, right?
yeah, at its best comes at $749. People were going to want to pay for what's best, and then the Steam box comes right in. They're going to fall for that. I have no doubt in my mind that it's going to cost more than the Steam Deck.
Oh,
As
absolutely.
Yeah,
as far
sure.
as far as Microsoft goes, the only thing that's keeping their console alive right now is Game Pass, and they've already expressed interest in saying we're not going to do consoles anymore. We just want to go straight into the game making and keep on with the Game Pass. So that right there is kind of like easy an easy say. And the switch to Nintendo is just going to be keep on being Nintendo. They're going to wait a couple more years to come out with another one, and that one upon release is already going to be obsolete, just like the Switch 2. This one comes out still obsolete. Nobody cares about it. I think personally, the only reason people buy it is because they have this thing in their mind of fear of missing out. Everybody wants what's new.
You want to
Oh.
hear what's ironic, ladies and gentlemen? If Xbox had created the Steam machine and that had been the Xbox Series, it would have done fantastically well.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
that is the issue here, right? The Steam machine would be successful as an Xbox, but I think it will be a commercial failure as a Steam product. Mainly because of the fact that, as they always do when Steam releases hardware, they can't take a financial hit selling the hardware, so they have to sell it at a profit, which means it's too expensive, which means not enough people will buy it, which means it will be a commercial failure. We must also include the fact that Steam never advertises their products beyond their website. They're notorious for doing that.
Well, the big question when it comes down to Steam is what will happen once Gabe is no more? As blunt as this sounds, but
the
that
answer's
is the
obvious.
question.
They'll turn into Nintendo. Obviously.
Well, the first question I would have is, will they stay private? What I'm hoping for, of course. But there are many changes, and most of them, many changes that are likely to happen, and most of them are not consumer friendly, I bet.
Okay.
But another thing, circling back to Xbox and Microsoft, my comparison, well, at least in my head, is Xbox is to Microsoft what Twitch is to Amazon. So,
And to our next topic, something a little bit cheery would be we do have, other than tech announcements and updates, we also have video game updates and announcements. A lot of these came out through State of Play and Game Awards. The updates being for Phantom Blade Zero and Resident Evil Requiem, and the announcements of Toxic Commando and Mega Man, which I know Dan's looking forward to the Mega Man. Toxic Commando I've never played, but it does look fun. Resident Evil I'm very nervous about, because from what I understand from Hypno streams and stuff like that, they're already starting to bend the knee to certain audiences, to certain aspects of the audiences, and that makes me very, very nervous. Such as the game being too scary and censoring a few things here and there, and that makes me very, very nervous. I don't know about you guys.
well, I'm one of the few people who hates Resident Evil 4 and thinks the rest is even worse. So my hopes for this Resident Evil entry are comparable low. I'm one for the old tank controls and actual survival horror, and not a mobile weapons trader who is stalking you around and spin kicks and punching boulders. And every time the discussion goes back to Resident Evil 5 and everyone, black zombies, yada, 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 I'm always angry because it's a shit game. It doesn't matter the rest. And when people say, oh, but if you play together, yeah, you can kick a rock down the street. If it's done with a friend, it's fun. That doesn't make it a good game. So, no. Resident Evil Requiem? Nah.
Pouty, what do you have? You have any thoughts?
I've only seen the trailers for Mega Man, Phantom Blade, and Resident Evil, and I guess I'm only really excited for Mega Man, mainly because I'm not familiar with Phantom Blade, and I think I'm way too out of the loop on Resident Evil, since the only thing I know about are the terrible movies. Toxic Commando, I'm entirely unfamiliar with.
Oh, well, the Toxic Commando, I think this is its first time being announced to anything. It's it looks fun. I mean, it looks like a zombie game to me. I mean, but it looks fun. I don't quite remember. They did such a brief announcement for it. I don't quite remember it.
I think
I
there's a
remember
reason
the
for
trailer now. Yeah, go
that.
on.
There's a reason for that. John Carpenter's the man behind the project, and that man, I'm amazed he's still alive. He's known for the cult classic B movies, right? There are plenty of examples, but for him to, get behind a game, I found very, very surprising. In regards to Resident Evil, folks, if you're a Resident Evil fan, I feel very sorry for you,
I
because
am.
that is a franchise that has been completely wrecked, right? You only keep remaking things when you've run out of ideas. Except, oh, we can't remake 5 because racism, so we have to actually make something new now.
But then
Capcom.
again, look at where 5 is fucking located. I mean, it's like, really? I'm sorry, but there's going to be black zombies. It's not racist. Look at their look at their location.
It makes the most sense.
Exactly.
It's okay. It's okay that I am Spanish and they have Resident Evil 4, they have all Spanish people getting smoked. Am I making a big complaint about it? Hell no, I'm just having a thrill killing the zombies. They're infected
Well,
and meant to die.
At Resident Evil 4, the currency is pesetas, and the euro was already introduced for some years by that point. And that is just one example. Except for the name, it's in Spain. No, it's not. It has nothing to do with Spain.
But we need to point out, when you look at the Resident Evil franchise, it's very similar to that of the Silent Hill franchise, okay? Because these franchises started up going against the grain, and that's what led to their success. These games did not succeed within the existing ecosystem, so why the hell would said ecosystem want Silent Hill to succeed as it was, or want Resident Evil to succeed as it was? That's why Resident Evil is being constantly remade, is being remade towards the existing system's mindset to such an extent that Capcom want Resident Evil fans to consider the remakes to be canonical, not the originals.
Well, as far as updates go, we do know that Resident Evil is coming out next year. Phantom Blade has also received a release date, September next year. And we've just only gotten and we've gotten dozens of announcements, but Toxic Commando and Mega Man, especially Mega Man, is going to receive the most attention, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, because people have been longing for it for a very long time, and that's what will lead to it being a success. Hopefully, it is a success. I just wonder, is it past its sell-by date? Not in terms of the franchise, but in terms of it's going to be, a classic, to my knowledge, a classic 2D game, which is going to have the best and the brightest at the core of Mega Man. Mega Man at its best for a new generation. And I think that would be great for dual override. But what about future projects, right? Is that format going to last into the late 2020s, early 2030s, right?
And as far as Phantom Blade Zero goes, Pouty, to let you know, Phantom Blade Zero is basically, it's an upcoming hack and slash. It looks like a hack and slash, but it also looks like a combination of it. It looks like a combination basically of hack and slash and Wu Chang. From what I've seen, it is definitely one that I will be getting personally because it just looks so damn fun.
Yeah, the trailer looked great when I saw it on Hypno's channel.
Yeah, so it's definitely one I look forward to. Backbone J8293. Thank you for being a member for 1 month. And earlier, Zalosi, thank you for the 5 memberships as well. Toxic Commando, like I said, it looks interesting. They don't have a year out for those. Casey's Creepy Creations. Happy New Year to you too as well.
Well, I'm just hopeful Toxic Commando releases before John Carpenter dies.
Well, it would improve the sales if he would have the courtesy to die on the proper.
Damn, Hugo, you went straight for the throat. You're not supposed to do that.
The courtesy.
Hey, Dignity, but don't jinx it. I don't want John Carpenter to die. Let the king come.
No, I don't want to do that either. But it would improve the sales. History has proven that, even with books. Those printed out things.
I would like to point out though, Scooby, Phantom Blade Zero is an example of where gaming is going to go if it works out well. Mm-hmm. Resident Evil Requiem is where gaming's going to go if all hell breaks loose and everything collapses. For Mega Man, that's what we want gaming to be. We want it to be, like it used to be, just with a modern polish,
Simple and fun.
Simple and fun. And Toxic Commando is basically if John Carpenter was a gamer. So
Yeah. And since
enjoy.
a lot of these announcements were and updates came out in the Game Awards, it gives us the perfect segue into our next topic, Expedition 33. That thing, if you watch the Game Awards, it was nominated 9 times and it won all of those awards. It won everything it was nominated for. It swept the awards. And it's a game that highly deserves it. I don't know about you guys. I mean, I got gifted it over the Christmas while doing the Christmas special, and I cannot wait to play it. But what about you guys?
It's amazing. It's definitely my game of the year. And I've had a tough time in the beginning because I haven't played something reaction heavy for a long time, not to that degree at least. And well, it was no problem. So I failed, and by Act 2, my reactions were up again, resurrected in a way. I mean, I'm 42 years old, so and I bought the soundtrack alongside the game. I listened to it while installing the game.
Casey's Creepy Creations coming in with 5 gifted Scooby Pup memberships. Again, thank you all to you guys out there watching. Love you all. Thank you so much, Casey. Okay, boys, calm down for those of you in the chat. I know a lot of you guys like that video. But
Well,
as far as Expedition 33 goes, I was gifted it. I intend on playing it, but Pouty, have you played it or did you just? I don't remember.
I actually got it as a gift a little while back, like for my birthday, but I've only completed the first part. My computer cannot handle it beyond that. Time for an upgrade.
Yeah.
Well-
Continue, Digny.
Well, I'd just like to say, Piranha Pout, upgrade your systems while you still can before you have to remortgage your house. In regards to my perspective, I see Expedition 33 the same way I see Dark Souls, a genre-defining game that will inspire an entire genre. We've heard the term Dark Souls game, right? Or Dark Souls-like. We're going to hear the same of E33 game or E33-like, okay? Mainly because of the fact that we were told for years that this kind of game cannot exist in the ecosystem. And it was Square Enix who really perfected the concept that said so. But no, this project proved that wrong. And that is the equivalent of sticking a middle finger up to an industry that doesn't like to be wrong in any way, shape, or form. Okay, when I look at Expedition 33, I look at a triumph. When I look at Clair Obscur as a franchise, I have my doubts. Because a game inspired by Final Fantasy will ultimately end up where Final Fantasy is today. Doesn't matter if it takes years or decades. Look at the state of Final Fantasy in 2025. That could be the state of Clair Obscure in, I don't know, 2055. I don't know. I don't know if it'll even last 30 years, the way the industry and the world is going. But I'm grateful that we've had this, right? This game reminds me of Terminator 2, the movie. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't think it's going to get better than this, personally. I hope to be wrong.
Personally, I think I look forward to playing it, but one thing that irks me is that people are insisting that the game relied too much on AI, and that in some cases was actually made by AI. I personally believe that many many games are going to be that are going to have AI in the future, but especially for indie companies who will probably rely on it more for help of refining the game and whatnot. Because indie companies are a lot smaller than AAA companies. And if AAA starts using them, well, they have no excuse. They have the money to make games very well without having to use AI or anything. But indie game companies, though, personally, I think should be able to use it in the sense that, for storyboarding and refining certain things here and there, because they don't have as much money. They're not that big of companies. And as long as it doesn't coming out looking like AI slop, it's a good tool. It just depends on how you use it. St. Hugo, I know you've had several thoughts on AI. What are your thoughts for this?
I think the depression got him. But don't worry, folks. Don't worry. St. Hugo is the most. He's the funniest German alive, and that's saying something. But I would like to point out, Scooby, to everyone else on the panel, when someone says, "Ooh, you have AI in your thing. It must be bad," respond to them with, "You're racist against AI. Why are you being racist to this great technology?" Right? Literally use their arguments against them. Stop being discriminatory. Right? We should welcome the AI. We should open our doors to AI.
Well,
right?
This is something that's not going to go away. Not anytime. Not anytime soon. If anything, it's just going to evolve.
The tactic works, right? Just call them racists.
What I gotta
say they're discriminating against us because we use technology that's better than them.
Dan, what did you have to say?
What I gotta say is AI is gonna be the future of gaming, whenever you like it or not. It's gonna happen. It's like you said, it's going to evolve, and it's gonna get stronger and stronger every year that passes by, as months and days that goes. So eventually, I mean, it's not we can do about it, because it's gonna replace people that's making games, which sucks. Which I can't consider AI an art, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we can't stop it. We got to accept it, even though, I mean, it's not gonna be the same like we had it back then,
Well, I'm not a fan of. Well, personally, Dan, I'm not a fan of defeatist arguments. If you want to oppose AI development in any way, shape, or form, then be my guest, right? There are those who can and will oppose it to the best of their abilities, just as the Luddites opposed the earliest technological changes. I think it's very important for people to realize that ultimately it's up to you. It's up to all of you. Do you want these things or don't you? Do you want to welcome this technology with open arms, this technology with so much positive potential and so much negative potential? Are you willing? Because the world is an equation, folks, and trade-offs are very important in that occasion.
It
Are
is
you
happening either way. So not
Exactly.
with open arms, but with skill and fast gained experience. Else, it's only the corpos and the governments who are using it, and that won't be to our advantage. So
Well, I just like to point out that historically, as we've seen through cloning and genetic engineering, that if enough people oppose an innovation, it doesn't get developed. The same with nuclear capabilities. If enough people oppose it, it doesn't get developed. So there are instances of roads not taken because we have the technology to genetically alter and so-called improve a human. We have the technology to clone everyone on this panel and clone everyone watching the show. But we've
the
decided,
opposition just caused that everything is happening behind doors now, not that it's not happening anymore. So that's another aspect. If the outcry worldwide would be no AI, and all right, no AI for you, that
We can
wouldn't
rebuild
solve
him. We can
anything.
make him stronger.
I
Is
think
that
it's
the
very
$6 million
important.
man?
Yep.
Well,
Make them stronger and more intelligent.
Well, I think it's very important for people to realize, for everyone to realize, that in the world we live in, if the majority of people are against something, it doesn't happen. Full stop. If we don't live under that kind of world, we live under the kind of world where the top tell everyone else what they can and cannot do, because that's the only alternative. And that
And
that
that's
seems to be where it's going in regards to the AI discussion. This is inevitable. You will accept this, whether you like it or not. That's not an
right.
open, honest, or democratic view of the world. It's not a very, dare I say, liberal and open attitude. That is the attitude of, I say this is happening, so it will happen. And if you stand in the way of that happening, you will be crushed. That is very authoritarian. That is very tyrannical. And it's coming, ironically, so much irony in regards to these topics. It's coming from the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Um,
I was gonna say from the tolerant.
yeah. Hugo, when you see how this game is, would you say that it has more AI in it than anything else?
No, it's
Because, yeah.
AI can be used in so many stages. Early stages, for example, well, that was a topic from last week, not with Expedition 33, but with, oh, I forgot the name, where it was clearly stated we use it for inspiration and so on, and the actual artists pick up from there and do their work. And or here the today with game titles on blackout or for another, sorry, but the other extraction shooter everyone is playing, where the voices are AI. So if it's for the bystanders and so on, better that than silent. Or like when remembering Skyrim, the same 10 voice actors played everyone. So
Yeah.
there are many applications, and especially for indies and so on, it is a godsend tool, you could say. And honestly, as someone who I could start with drawing, I'm decent with a pen. I can use Blender, 3D Max. Hell, I used Milkshape back in the day of Half-Life modding. The first one. So
Hugo,
many things are just tedious. Design one tree, that might be fun. Design 10, 20, 50. you beg for a tool that makes variation easier and somewhat automatic. And the
Yeah,
whole point of computers is automate processes. This is just the next stage. So if one is truly opposing AI, it's basically, well, proclaiming or advertising, and that's not judging. Well, Digny, I'm looking at you with this.
No,
Just
all
you,
right. No,
you
it's
compared
perfectly fine.
yourself earlier this month to Tracer Tong from DSX. So yeah, set everything off the grid would be the end goal, I would imagine, from that approach.
I would have to say, bringing Expedition 33 into the light of AI, I think that was just a lot of people who were coping and seething over them sweeping in the Game Awards. But as far as AI also goes for large games such as Expedition 33 and other games similar to it, um, it's good. I can see it being used for NPCs. Now, what I mean by NPCs, I mean like the NPCs who don't really matter at all, like
Yeah,
people who
exactly.
people who you go to buy store stuff from. Like you can use voice actors to play multiple characters if the NPCs are actually useful, if they actually have something to do with the story. Fine, but if it's just a simple shopkeep or whatever, then no, slap the NPC in there. It's nobody's it's not gonna bother anybody. It's not gonna affect the game unless you do a shitty version of it. Pouty, what do you think?
Well, if I may, because I know we're kind of pressed for time. Um, when I first started doing my Zelda streams, I had a guy that would come in and dislike every single one because he didn't like that I used AI to assist in my thumbnail art. He would come in every night with a lecture about how I should learn how to do it myself or
Uh,
hire somebody. And it's like, dude, do you have an idea how much work I actually put into this? AI just does the basics. I have to do it from there.
yeah, for me, it's like whenever I'm on Twitter and somebody doesn't like what I say, all they do is say AI, and I'm like, that's supposed to mean what to me? It,
It's like,
and
great, you noticed. Good
They
for
might
you.
as well say magic.
yeah,
Most people
exactly.
don't understand even electricity.
Yeah,
They
and
are
it's
as bad
That's
as
true.
Mr. Weasley when it comes down to muggle magic.
and it irks AI. It irks so many people so much that even in the Indie Game Awards, they won Game of the Year and Best Debut Game, and because of AI, they got stripped of it, even though the show had already been filmed or anything. But in Indie Game Awards defense, though, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. The company did say no, we didn't use any AI in the making of the game, and then they said that they did. They backtracked. Uh,
Well, the biggest irony of that is that the award to the game they gave it to got revealed to have the same AI features added in. But I think the point people really need to get into their minds is that this technology will never stop. This is the idea of the continuous innovation. So Scooby proposes that these elements can be put into background characters, generic NPCs, maybe storekeepers, that sort of thing, and then we can stop it. Well, that's not how this technology works. It's never how AI development has worked. It has always been continuous, on and on and on, with the ultimate objective of replacing every single person in every single profession, in every single industry, hardware, software, everywhere, and fucking nowhere. This technology, sorry for swearing, but this technology is purpose built to replace a human being in every way, shape, or form, economically, socially, creatively, everything, which raises my question in regards to this in regards to this situation, rather. Where is the place for the human? And the answer to that, from what I've gathered, is there is no place for us. And people who are useless generally don't live long in our world. Now, once this technology fulfills its objective, what are we going to do with the billions of useless people on planet Earth?
Well, a good thing that so many uninvited people are scattered everywhere around the Western world, eh? That
Yes.
surely
That's
adds.
entirely coincidental, Hugo. How dare you notice that?
West, Western, Eastern, the entire world, because that is the end goal, because this is a continuous innovation technology where there is no point in which we stop, because people will just want more and more and more. That's why there are only two options. We either embrace this technology to the point where it eliminates humanity, or we don't touch it at all. There is no middle ground.
Thing is, it doesn't matter on which side you stand on. In both ways, you need to understand the technology. And I mean, really understand how it's used, how it's developed, where the tinkerer communities are and what their names are, and so on. The major companies, the research projects for actual sentient AI, which has nothing to do with LLMs, and so on and so on. Especially for those opposing it, they need to be up to date even more than the everyday person creating some bohonkos to look at.
And if people don't have a problem with using artificial intelligence in games, then they won't have a problem when it's used throughout the entire creative industry, then other industries, and then to the point where no human being can have a livelihood for not only yourselves or for future generations, because that's where it's going to lead. Whether it's sentient, whether it doesn't know what it's doing, all roads, no matter the choice, will lead to this direction where not a single human being will have any purpose and meaning in their lives because a piece of hardware or software can do it quicker, faster, stronger, and better, and cheaper in that respect. So
On
that's
that
what
note, a reminder that the next Davos meeting will be held in January. So, to get a glimpse, since they started to gloat about their extinction plans for humanity some years ago, check that out.
I know we're pressed for time, and I apologize in
So that's
advance,
okay.
Scooby. There is a reason $1 trillion in the US alone is being invested in this umbrella term of AI development, because the people currently in positions of power in front of and behind the camera want this technology. They want it all. They want it to serve them. And, where does that leave us? Where does that leave the people? Because the people only get their power from being economically useful. And once that is gone, the people will have no power. And without power, people will not have any rights. And without any rights, we are doomed as a species. It's as simple as that. That's why I am so anti-AI, not because of the technology in that of itself, but the consequences of it. In the same way why I'm very much against nuclear weapons and nuclear technology, because its potential could annihilate the human race in 90 minutes.
Dan, you got anything?
Well, like I was saying before, we got no other choice but to accept it or don't accept AI, because eventually it's the future of everything that's gonna be made right now. So I mean, either you could go anti AI, it's gonna be right in front of you. So I mean, there's no way out of it. Eventually, it's gonna make people lose their jobs regardless, because it's replacing. It's what it does. It's replacing people. It's replacing art. It's replacing creativity. And like Dickney was saying, it's gonna make people useless.
Very much so.
Yep.
Pouty.
I mean, that's honestly given me a lot to think about because it's like I said earlier, I still regard AI as a tool. I mean, Dan is completely correct, though. It is unavoidable. It's going to happen whether we want it or not. So I figure might as well go along with it and learn to control it, right?
Yeah, pretty
Exactly.
much.
The important thing these days is to approach life in a dual way, the digital side and the physical. For example, I'm rarely letting my kids play or do anything with electronics, but they can sew on a repair their own stuffed animals and so on already, and they are below 10. Um, thing is, skill up. I can just advocate for everyone, skill up in every direction imaginable and connect to people, digitally and physical. You have
I
to.
advise I advise everyone to join the Humanity Front, folks. Subscribe to my Substack, the Humanity Front. No, no, I don't have a Substack. But go on, Hugo. Go on.
Sorry. Well,
You okay there?
you have to. Yeah, just miss swallowed. Yeah, that came out wrong. Um,
No comment.
I'm fairly on my own here. Um, except for my kids. No, that's everything is making worse from now. No, I stop. Um, no, just put effort in the people you have around you and the people you are connected via technology because they are out of reach physical. So, for example, whether it's in chat on Discord or like today on a stream, it's the ability. It is the stand-in for the water cooler talks. Quite doesn't cut it. More like back from the school days. So finding people with similar interests and so on, and just get it all. Be greedy. Have the real physical connections. Have the, I think by now, one can call it actual friendships, though never met in person. Um, yeah, go all ways. Don't waste your time. Skill up, reach out, make friends, and put effort into every relationship, whether it's marriage or everything aside. That's the thing people tend to forget how they got anywhere with anyone. If something is not tended to, it withers and dies.
Yes, very much so, especially when it comes to gaming. Hopefully, next year will be a lot better. I mean, things already are starting to look a little bit up and down for it, movie wise and stuff. It's definitely looking to go down. Um, it's looking to go downhill. TV show wise, looking to go downhill. Tech wise and gaming wise, it's looking to be more of a wait and see sort of thing. Because we've gotten so many announcements and so many things that we have yet to see to where they go, like previous games from previous years, where I saw the announcement for Mouse PI. So far as we know, it's supposed to come out next year, which I look forward to. It's
Right, that was looking good.
and then of course Cult Classic Cage and we are both in the mindset of Samurai Pizza Cats. We are buying day one. So yeah, it's next year game wise, it's looking along the lines of let's wait and see what we got coming to us. We have plenty of announcements that we saw during the Game Awards, during Future Game Show, during State of Play, Nintendo PC, all those shows. They're constantly showing announcements. Nintendo Direct, who gives a shit about them? Um, on the other, so, but this year, what would you guys, what's your opinion about this year? Do you think it was a good year, bad year?
It was an interesting year. Many things have changed. Many parts are moving on every front imaginable. And next year will be like this year, but dial to 11.
Dan? Dan?
Hey, loco! I think next year will be great.
I sense sarcasm there. Digny, what about you? What do you think? Do you think next year looks to be good or bad?
Oh, I think next year is going to be fantastic if you have a lot of money, because prices are going to go sky high, baby, everywhere, everywhere, especially in terms of technology. I think 2026 is not going to be a good year, and this is coming from someone who had a really topsy-turvy 2025, okay? In fact, I'd say 2025 has been a good year because I haven't had the best of years. This always seems to happen, guys. Anytime the world has a good year, I have a bad year, and anytime the world has a bad year, I have a good year. It's weird.
It gives you
It's
something to talk about.
Yeah, it's very weird, but I think 2026 will be a good year for me, but I don't think it's going to be a good year for everyone else.
Pouty. Pouty, sweetie, your opinion.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, 2025 will be remembered as the year that university student embarrassed the pants off of the AAA games industry, by which I mean the success of Schedule 1 pretty much overtaking everything when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as next year, I can't say my hopes are very high as far as the mainstay studios are concerned. In fact, I'm really taking the wait and see approach with everything right now.
Yeah, same here. I'm more along the lines of keeping an eye on things, waiting and see what's happened. In the meantime, I'm holding on to my wallet for dear life. Like my life depends on it. Like, like I'm gonna be standing there with a gun, like, get back! Do not touch my wallet. As for this year, I think this year was really topsy turvy. It really depended on what it was that you're looking at. Movie wise, TV show wise, it sucked.
Well,
Tech,
don't you like to watch Little Platoon?
no.
I sure do. And for everything which is a real dumpster fire, Little Platoon puts out a at least double long video on YouTube, and I enjoy those.
Devil May Cry, don't get me started on that cartoon. The anime was horrible. I'll go for the original version of it any day.
I'll agree
But
to that.
as far as tech goes, I'm very curious as towards about the Steam tech. I don't give a damn about Xbox because I am not a fan of Xbox, and they are leaving that area in the first place. So does it really matter for them? As far as Nintendo Switch 2 goes, I don't know what made them even think to put one out when everything they're doing for it has either been nothing but a severe fuck up move, or all the games that have been coming out are games that are still available, are not still available, but games that are available on Switch 1 as well. So what's the point of getting a new system other than you're upgrading and you're buying it just because it's new? So
And
that's
if I
really,
may,
yes, feel free.
it's really funny that the one thing that Switch 2 could wave over my head was Mario Kart World, and I'd much rather play Sonic Cross Worlds, which I can play everywhere. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what I pick that up for.
Yeah, I loved Sonic Cross Worlds, and anybody who wants to play with me, I will gladly play. It is so fun. I've been playing with Dan, and Dan and I have been getting very aggressive when it comes to playing each other.
Oh, believe
At
me,
some
it's
point,
funny
I
as hell.
will pick up Crossworlds too. Yeah, I've seen enough to know that I would like that.
Patty, you need to get the game and join us. I can't be the only girl shit talking Dan.
It's enjoyable.
No. I don't know. I'm kind of a legend. I once got a 24-hour ban from the Nintendo Switch chat.
Use Discord.
Yeah, that's what we do. We use Discord.
Oh, seeing what Foxels just wrote, spread the word or to people that they keep an eye on GOG for old games that actually run and the ability to download the ISO files to actually own and keep the games. So, well,
Yeah.
Foxel said old games. So
I'm definitely I have my PlayStation 5 and I have tons of games to play on it. So I'm definitely looking forward to some new ones on that. However, I've been gifted games on Steam from Dark Exile, Trunks, a whole Trunks Cult Classic Cage. I love all of you guys. Thank you so much for everything you've done. I love all my subscribers. I wouldn't be where I am without them.
I think we can all agree on that sentiment, especially myself. I've only been doing this for a few months. I had no idea I'd get to nearly 300 subs in a few months.
Yeah. As yeah, and I gotta say, I look forward to some future games. Steam, I can't wait to play those. The only thing is, I just gotta get the controller and the OBS, set up. But yeah, this year has been an up and down for me. I mean, the announcements that we've gotten and the updates have been kind of mellow. Nothing I would jump about saying, "Yay, yay!" The release this year, I got no problem with them. I like them. I haven't played Expedition 33 yet, but I have a feeling I will like it. Wu Chang can kiss my ass. It has proven to me that I am not good at Souls games. So, with that, what do you guys have coming up? Let's see. We'll start off with you. Pouty, what you got coming up, sweetie? Show your shit.
Well, coming up, I have Pouty Plays on Fridays. I'm starting to do Afterglow Arcade on Thursdays. Furious Dan and I are getting together with some of our compadres for Mash 'em Up Mondays. That's sure to be a good time. Lots of button
That'll be
mashing.
fun.
Oh, heck yeah. And I'm picking up Saturday, and I'm not sure about Wednesday. My schedule is always in rotation, but you can find all that on my X. That's Piranha_Pout. It's also where I do a lot of good artwork over there. Like I said, AI is just bare bones and a fun tool for me.
And, well, I look forward to it. You have good streams. I like it. I like them. They can be fun. Just,
Thank you.
yes, they're fun. Even more
Thank
so
you
when
for
you
having me tonight, Scoobs. This has been a great time.
Oh, this won't be the last time. I'm definitely going to have you on again, sweetie. Or at least I definitely hope to. Dignified cartoon gentleman, what do you have coming up, sweetie?
Well, first of all, my camera just disconnected randomly, so I do apologize, folks, that I'm in this form. Hopefully, you can all still hear me. But
Yes.
I'm only 4 subs away from 300. For the next few days, I'll be making videos every so often until January 2nd, where the network will start going into 2026. The network does a show a day, basically, folks, every single day, which is why I need to take time off once every few months. Otherwise, I will go completely insane, and we don't want that.
No.
But I appreciate Scooby Pup having me on today's show. I appreciate having a good talk with everyone on this panel. If you haven't already, like the stream, share the stream. Donations are always welcome. You can check me out at the Dignified Cartoon Gentleman. That's Dignified Cartoon Gentleman. Just type that in. No one else has this name. So just type in Dignified Cartoon Gentleman. You'll find me on YouTube. That's the place to find me, and I'd appreciate everyone's support.
Yes. And you don't have to worry, guys, because when it comes to the end of the actual show, I will be putting up on Sunday, everybody's links.
Yep.
Let's get you minimized and move on.
There we
St.
go. That's
Hugo.
better.
Yes. Wait, no, can't move on to St. Hugo just yet. Need to get to Dan. Dan, sweetie.
Well, I got some other games coming up tonight. I'm not even gonna be sure if I'm gonna stream tonight or not. But I've been playing Need for Speed Heat. I might end up either trying to play this demo game called Ground Zero. It's kind of like Resident Evil, so I'm planning to check that out, see if I like it or not. And I have other games that I'm looking forward to play also as well. That which I do play retro games and some modern games. And you can also find me on YouTube. And also find me on Rumble, Twitch, and on X. And that will be it.
Yeah, well, I highly recommend you guys check out Dan's stuff. He is fun to watch. Lord knows I watch him.
Well, it's good to know you watch a man doing his work, Scooby.
Oh, very funny.
I'm
Very
now
funny,
3
Digny.
subscribers away from
Very,
300.
very,
Thank
very,
you. Thank you.
very, very, very funny. And of course, St. Hugo, sweetie.
Well, as mentioned earlier, I'm working on my own game, a fully fledged project, so it will take likely more than the next year. I will start to show things once they are worth it. Right now, I'm creating plugins for the project for the mechanics I need, so nothing anyone would, well, it's code and stuff. What can I say? I do put out gaming related videos every once in a while for whatever comes to mind, but I'm more of a part-time dev than content
Than
creator.
anything else.
But I'm toying around with a idea to somehow start a or get the ball rolling for a point where aspiring indie devs can exchange thoughts and so on. I've been thinking about that for a long time, mentioned it, for example, to Dan sometimes, and I wrote down everyone I heard about or who talked about doing their own game. And for me, it's not important to see my name in the headlines. I just want to see people getting started with their own projects, hopefully succeed with them. And I will reach out once I have thought of some sort of concept to bring people together.
That's great to hear. And I know, shout out to Slay Every Game. Be sure to sub to him, all of you guys in the chat, because I know he's trying to get up there in his wonderful adventure of streaming. As I said, so wow, this has been a nice long show. I'm hoping for next year to be better. However, I'm very, 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 very. I'm not quite too sure on that. As far as I go, Sunday I'm going to be putting a list up of everybody who's ever been on the show, and ways that you can check out their videos and such. Also, tomorrow around 4 p.m., I will be streaming Lost Soul Aside again. I'm getting back to the game. So I will be streaming Lost Soul Aside again. I'm picking up right where I left off, aka fighting a boss. So I get to start the game with a boss. Yay! In this game, in this damn boss has been kicking my ass. So, yeah, I'll be starting tomorrow at 4 p.m. SCOOBYPU'S Barcade with Lost Soul Aside. And as far as the rest of the week goes, well, I'm going to be streaming SCOOBYPU'S Barcade for the rest of the week. Will I do any afternoon streams for the Barcade? Maybe, maybe not. I'm going to try to. I'm going to try to make all my streams in the afternoon more so than the evening. But if any of them happen to hit the evening, I will definitely let you guys know in Twitter. Next Saturday, I will have canceled this broadcast. And Friday, I will be dropping yet another video from SCOOBYPU'S Refuse. I did a very long coverage of the first season for Has Been Hotel, and it was like a 3.5 hour long total. So we had to break it up into episodes. So next Friday, if you're a fan of Has Been Hotel, then I will be dropping yet another episode at 2 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, that's it for the show. Oh, and next year I'm going to change the ending to my stream. So I hope you guys like it. It's going to be 110% animated. And stick around for the raid because we will be raiding Hypnotic, my boss. So stick around for the stream. We're going to be raiding straight into Hypnotic. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Trying to get to 1K by the end of next year, but if we can just get to 600 right now, that would be awesome. And you guys have a great night. I hope to see you after the raid.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take it easy,
Bye.
guys.
Bye bye.